this is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about pens. I know we've done a lesson about journaling before, but today we're just going to talk about all the different types of pens that you can use to do that journaling, and the good things and some of the drawbacks or blessings, or however you want to look at it, the good and the bad and the ugly. And we're going to just talk about it all, and I'm going to share with you my experience with what I have and give you some recommendations. So hopefully this is helpful for you to be able to write a story that will last for a long time, for generations to come. So let's check out my workspace and we'll get started. Oh, hang on. Before we get too far into our layout for today, I just want to remind you about the drawing that we're doing. We are going to be doing that pretty soon because we are really close to our goals. So please make sure that you are commenting so that you're entered in that drawing. And please make sure that you're sharing my channel with all of your paper scrapping friends so that we can get to that subscriber number that we need to, so we can do the drawing. And when we do the drawing, there will be a special video that will be put out so you can see us draw the name, and there'll be more information at that point in time. But if you need details on what we're doing and why we're doing it, check out the description of the video, and there'll be plenty of information there to explain why we're doing this and what we're doing. All right, thanks so much. Let's check out my workspace and we'll get started now. Thanks. All right, so here's my desktop for today, and I just wanted to share with you these. What I have in my hand here are pens that we use every day. Pens, pencils, pens with like a roller on the end. These are InkJoy pens, my favorite when it comes to ballpoint. Although the Sharpie ballpoint pen is a really nice pen as well, and the fine Sharpies are really nice, and a regular Sharpie is wonderful depending on what you're using, and sometimes you need a highlighter, and it's just coincidental that all of those are Sharpies because that's really not, it's really not my the only thing that we buy, certainly. And the pencil also works in a appropriate time, but none of these are appropriate pens for you to use when you are journaling or adding accents or adding art to your pages in a scrapbook. The reason is because the ink that is in these and other similar types of pens can degrade your photos and can leach chemicals into your, of course a pencil is not going to leach chemicals necessarily, but it's not going to show up very well on your pages either, and it will fade or can be erased, and you don't want that. But these will leach chemicals into your photos or anything that is touching your page. So big no-no in the scrapbooking world to use these kinds of pens on your pages. If you have been with Creative Memories in the past, then you'll recognize these pens right here, these white ones. These were around with what we call old CM, old Creative Memories, the company before it went dark in 2013 and then was restarted in 2014. These still work. These are fantastic. If you have these, don't get rid of them. Use them until they die. Many people that I know still have them, still use them, and love them to pieces. So they were fine tip, they were bold tip, which was kind of like a chisel edge, so you could do calligraphy and things like that if you were talented that way. These were a rounded tip, which was kind of cool for doing large titles, on writing your titles out on your pages, and some metallic just to jazz things up. When old CM went away, I moved to these pens over here. They are called Pigma Micron pens. You can get them at your favorite craft store, and they are awesome. The thing that didn't like about these is they die very quickly. At least that's been my experience, that they died really quickly. So I went through a lot of them. And so, but there are different kinds, as you can see. There's graphic pens, there's the fine micron pens, there's brush pens. That you can get these in many different sizes of tips and the whole shebang. Lots of different colors. They're great, but they're not my favorite because, like I said, they don't last very long. When you are looking for a good pen to use, either to add art to your page or to use to journal your story on your page, you want to look for Archival ink. Pigment that is archival quality, will not fade and will not affect your photos, and it will shouldn't bleed into other things. So Creative Memories, I trust their products because I know from time-tested use that they hold up. They live up to what they say they will do, and they are good quality. So I trust that they are going to work and record what I record and keep it that way. I have no problem recommending Creative Memories products. That being said, the biggest seller is this baby right here, and it's a dual tip black journal pen. Dual tip means that you've got a fat end right here that you can do a nice fat line with, possibly a title or going around something. You've got a fine tip right here, which is great for journaling and details. This pen, because it's black, is the most popular, and it is awesome. I have several of them because, you know, I lose them. Anyway, to keep me from losing them, I purchased these 5x7 cases that are made by Creative Memories and sold in a larger box. And they work great for keeping my pens together. So I've got all my dual tip pens are in this box right here. And you can see they come in many, many different colors, or they have come in many, many different colors. Sometimes they're offered and they sell out and go away. So if you like colored pens, you should get them when they're offered. These are what we call dot tip pens, and they have a squishy end. So it's designed to make dots. So let me show you. You can, depending on how much pressure you put, you can graduate your dots and make them larger or smaller. It also has an end for journaling, so that smaller tip, just like the black pen that I just showed you. And these come out at various times in various colors, and you can see I've got metallic ones, I've got regular colored ones. Just depends on when they come out, and you need to take advantage of them, of getting them when they do come out. We also have micro tip pens, and the micro tip pens come in a smaller selection of colors, but you can see they have the very tiny little writing tip, very similar to the micron pen over here. And these work great for journaling. If I'm going to choose a pen to journal with, it's probably going to be one of these days. Although if I don't have one of these handy, I will grab one of these in a heartbeat. Another pen that we have is called the chalking pen. The chalking pen always reminds me of when we were kids, and we would use lemon juice and make secret messages to people. Remember, you use the lemon juice and a paintbrush, and then you put the lemon juice over a heat source and your message would magically appear. Well, that's kind of like what the chalking pen does. I think there must be a component in here that leaches the color out of the paper that it touches, because when you use this, and it is acid-free pigment ink, but when you use this, it will fade the color of the paper, and it's recommended that you only use it on cardstock because it doesn't really work as effectively on a printed paper, but on cardstock it works brilliantly. and you just write your message, but you have to keep an eye on where you just wrote, because you won't see it for a few minutes. It takes it a few minutes before it becomes active, and then you see it. This is an oldie but a goodie. This is a photo labeling pencil. I should turn that around so you can actually read it. If you have one of these in your arsenal, these are great for writing details on the back of your photos. And if you should write on top of your photo, it will rub off with a cloth. So that's always nice. And this particular one is an old one that was sold a long time ago, and it had a white end and a black end. I'm not sure what, I think they're blue actually now. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the case. I have always been searching for a white pen to write on a black page. Right now, Creative Memories does not have a white pen to write on a black page, unfortunately. So instead of just choosing something else or putting down, a journal box and writing in that, I have used the Jelly Roll pens. They are, as far as I've been able to tell, I believe them to be safe, although I have had them bleach a little bit of whatever is in them. And so if I go back and read older things, occasionally I will see a little bit of a shadow that has been absorbed by the paper that I've written on. So as long as I'm not writing on a photo, I feel like it's probably okay, but use your best judgment. I did purchase this as well off of my favorite company that can, get things to your door in 24 hours. It's made by Bayok, and it's a pigment ink white pen, and it works fantastic, but it does take a minute to dry sometimes. It is photo safe, and I don't recall whether it actually said acid free, but it did say it was photo safe. So I have been using this one lately, and I really like it. In addition to that, we have these brush pens, which are really cool, and they add some flair to your page, so you can right now they just come in gold, silver, and clear, but you can see how they add some sparkle and some pizzazz to your page. You need to practice though with these, I believe, because brush tip pens are not something that everyone is comfortable with. If you get these, when you get these, you will, and I don't have one to show you, I'm sorry, but when you get these, there will be a black band that goes around the middle right here. So what you do is you take the lid off, and you take this end off, it unscrews, it'll come off, and you can remove that black band. It should come right off, and then let me see if I can show you with this without making a mess. Oh, good. You can see how there's a hole poked right in there. That hole is not there when you initially get the pen. It's poked by a little nipple inside there. And so when you remove the black band that you find around this, then you put this back on, and when you screw it down all the way, it pokes right into the ink to access the ink. And so you tip it upside down, squeeze it where it says push gently over a scratch piece of paper. Don't squeeze it over your project, but squeeze it over a scratch piece of paper until you can get it flowing, and then you can do some marvelous accent work with these. These are really fun. In addition, recently I've discovered these, and these are made by a company called Ranger, and these are tiny little ink pads, and they are wonderful for adding accents around the edge of your photos. They don't come with this tray. You have to buy the tray separately, but they do come in sets. So you can buy them individually, or in a bigger size, or you can buy them in these little ones. And then you can get a brush like this, put a little bit of ink on the brush, and then these are for going around and adding an accent to your photos or to your layout to your mats or to another portion of your layout. Okay, so they're really nice and they really are fun to play with. These brushes are, you have to buy everything separate these days, don't you? So you have to buy everything separately, like I said, but they are fun and they come in many different colors. So I just have a few different colors here that I got just to play with, so that I had kind of a variety of things to try. All right, so I hope that this has been helpful in giving you a good idea of, what is good to use on your layouts. I'm just using these to give you an idea of the difference in the size of the pen. So this is the fat end, this is the skinny end, and let's see, we'll use this one because it's navy. This is the micron. Okay, so you can see there is a difference. It's slight, but there is a difference. And anyway, I just really think it's important when you're going to journal on your pages that you journal with something that you're not going to have to go back and fix, because it's a lot of work to go and write all of the details out. But it's important, and it's the historical part of what you're doing when you're creating a scrapbook and preserving those memories. So I hope you'll take the time to use a good quality writing implement and record your stories in your scrapbooks. Thanks so much for joining me today. Until next time, I hope you have many more creative moments. Have a great day.